Hello everyone, and welcome back to our Practice Speaking English series. Today's topic is how to improve your English pronunciation quickly. In this long conversation, Emma and Ryan will talk about the fastest, most effective, science-based strategies that help English learners improve pronunciation, sound clearer, speak more confidently, and reduce misunderstandings. You'll learn long, native-like sentences and practical expressions that help you discuss accent training, pronunciation techniques, and speech improvement. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends learning English, and tell us in the comments which English pronunciation challenge bothers you the most. All right, let's begin.
Ryan, you've helped so many students improve their pronunciation incredibly fast, haven't you?
Yes, Emma, over the years I've worked with learners from all around the world, and I've seen how quickly pronunciation can improve when students use the right methods consistently and pay attention to the smallest details that make a big difference.
That's impressive experience. So what's the very first thing a learner should do if they want to improve their English pronunciation quickly?
The first step is training your listening skills, because you cannot correctly pronounce sounds that your ears don't fully recognize. And once your ears understand the difference between ship and sheep, for example, your mouth can finally reproduce those sounds accurately.
So listening is the foundation of good pronunciation.
Exactly. Everything begins with the ability to hear subtle sound differences, and learners who skip listening practice often struggle for years without progress.
What type of listening helps the most?
Learners should listen to clear, high-quality English from native speakers, podcasts, movies, interviews, and audiobooks, because these materials expose them to natural pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation.
Let's talk about imitation.
Imitation is one of the fastest pronunciation improving techniques because it allows learners to copy the exact sound, tone, pace, and emotional expression of native speakers, which gradually trains their mouth muscles to produce English naturally.
I've heard that shadowing is helpful.
Shadowing is incredibly powerful because it forces learners to speak at the same time as native speakers, matching their rhythm, sound connection, and stress patterns.
That sounds intense.
It is intense, but it works extremely fast, and students who shadow for just 10 minutes a day notice remarkable improvements within weeks.
Let's talk about mouth movement.
English uses mouth shapes that many languages don't use, so learners must train their lips, tongue, and jaw to move in new ways, which feels strange at first but becomes easier with practice.
Can you give an example?
Yes, the TH sound requires pushing the tongue between the teeth slightly, which feels unnatural for many learners, but with repetition, it becomes automatic.
What about the R sound?
The English R is produced far back in the mouth, with the tongue raised but not touching the roof, which is very different from many languages that roll the.
So learners need targeted practice for difficult sounds.
Exactly. Identifying personal problem sounds and practicing them repeatedly is one of the fastest ways to improve pronunciation.
How can learners find out which sounds they struggle with?
They can record themselves speaking, compare their pronunciation to native speakers, and look for sounds that feel awkward, unclear, or inconsistent.
Recording seems very helpful.
Recording yourself is extremely important because what you think you sound like is often very different from how you actually sound.
Let's talk about stress patterns.
Stress is essential in English because stressing the wrong syllable can make a word sound strange or even change its meaning, and native speakers rely heavily on stress to understand spoken language quickly.
Should learners practice stressing syllables?
Yes. They should memorize the stressed syllable of each new word and exaggerate it at first, which helps build strong pronunciation habits.
What about sentence stress?
Sentence stress is just as important because it highlights the key words in a sentence, allowing listeners to follow the speaker's meaning easily.
Let's talk about rhythm.
English rhythm is unique because it follows a stress-timed pattern, meaning some syllables are longer and others are shorter, which creates the musical flow of the language.
English rhythm is unique because it follows a stress-timed pattern, meaning some syllables are longer and others are shorter, which creates the musical flow of the language. Many learners sound flat or monotone.
Yes, and monotone speech often comes from native languages that use equal timing, so learners must train themselves to emphasize keywords more dramatically.
How can they practice rhythm?
They can read sentences aloud while exaggerating stress, pauses, and intonation shifts to make the musical pattern more noticeable.
Let's discuss intonation.
Intonation helps express emotion and meaning. Rising tones often signal questions or uncertainty, while falling tones often show confidence or completion.
How can learners practice intonation?
By listening to native speakers and mimicking their tone, almost like singing along to the melody of their speech.
Let's talk about linking sounds.
Linking is when one word connects smoothly to the next, reducing unnecessary pauses and making speech sound natural, which is a key feature of native-like pronunciation.
Can you give an example?
Sure, native speakers often say gonna instead of going to, and wanna instead of want to, because linking naturally simplifies speech.
Should learners use these reductions?
Yes, using them moderately makes speech more natural and helps learners understand native speakers better.
Let's discuss vowel clarity.
English vowels can be tricky because many languages have fewer vowel sounds, so learners must train their ears and mouths to produce distinct vowel differences.
For example,
the difference between cat, cut, cot, and cart can be confusing for learners because each word requires a slightly different vowel sound.
how can learners improve vowel pronunciation?
They should isolate difficult vowels, practice them slowly, and listen to minimal pairs, words that differ by only one vowel sound.
Let's talk about schwa.
The schwa is the most common sound in English, pronounced like a relaxed sound, and it appears in unstressed syllables like a, the, about, and camera.
Why is schwa important?
Without using schwa, learners often sound unnatural because schwa is essential for creating natural English rhythm.
Let's talk about using your face to speak.
English requires expressive facial movements because native speakers use their face muscles to create clear sounds, so learners must practice opening their mouth wider and shaping vowels intentionally.
Some languages don't use big mouth movements.
Yes, which is why learners sometimes sound quiet or unclear in English. They must use stronger articulation to sound natural.
Let's discuss practicing in front of a mirror.
Practicing in front of a mirror helps learners see their mouth shape, lip movement, and tongue placement, all of which are crucial for accurate sound production.
Should learners exaggerate mouth movements?
At the beginning, yes, exaggeration helps build strong habits, and once accuracy improves, learners can speak more naturally.
Let's talk about minimal pairs.
Minimal pairs are pairs of words that differ by only one sound, like ship and sheep, and practicing them helps learners hear and produce subtle differences.
How often should learners practice minimal pairs?
Even 5 minutes a day can significantly improve sound distinction over time.
Let's talk about consonant clarity.
Some consonants, especially R, L, TH, V, and W, are difficult for learners and require targeted practice.
Should learners practice slow pronunciation first?
Definitely slow, careful practice builds accuracy, and speed will naturally follow.
Let's talk about reading aloud.
Reading aloud is incredibly effective because it forces learners to practice pronunciation consistently while strengthening fluency.
Should they record themselves reading aloud?
Yes, recording allows learners to check clarity, speed, and natural flow.
Let's talk about tongue twisters.
Tongue twisters are excellent for training difficult sounds and improving articulation speed.
Do they work quickly?
Yes, practicing tongue twisters daily helps learners speak more clearly and confidently.
Let's talk about imitation again.
Learners should imitate short clips of native speakers, focusing on intonation, emotion, and natural expression.
Should learners use songs?
Songs are great for practicing rhythm and intonation, but learners should choose songs with clear lyrics.
What about poetry or speeches?
Poetry and speeches help learners practice dramatic intonation and expressive emotion.
We're halfway. Let's continue.
Yes, there are still many powerful pronunciation techniques learners can use to improve quickly and effectively.
Let's talk about pausing.
Pausing at natural points in sentences helps learners breathe properly and speak more clearly.
Should learners practice pausing?
Yes, because native speakers pause often, and learners who speak continuously sound unnatural and difficult to understand.
Let's talk about breathing.
Proper breathing supports clear pronunciation because shallow breathing makes speech weak and unstable.
How can learners practice breathing?
They can take slow, deep breaths before speaking and pause between phrases.
Let's talk about confidence.
Confidence affects pronunciation because tense speakers speak less clearly. Relaxed speakers sound more natural.
How can learners build confidence?
By practicing regularly and reminding themselves that mistakes are normal.
Let's talk about speaking speed.
Speaking too fast causes unclear pronunciation, so learners should slow down until accuracy improves.
But some learners speak too slowly.
That's fine. Speed will increase naturally as confidence grows.
Let's talk about accent choice.
Learners should choose one accent, American, British, Australian, and stick with it for consistent pronunciation practice.
Does accent matter for communication?
Not really. Clarity is much more important than having a perfect accent.
Let's talk about native-like flow.
Native flow comes from linking, reducing, and stressing words naturally.
How can learners practice flow?
By listening to natural speech and repeating sentences until they sound smooth.
Let's discuss listening again.
Listening helps learners recognize subtle pronunciation patterns and mimic them accurately.
Let's talk about apps.
Apps like pronunciation trainers or AI tutors can help learners practice sounds with instant feedback.
Let's talk about practicing with native speakers.
Practicing with native speakers helps learners hear real pronunciation in conversation.
What if native speakers speak too fast?
Learners can ask them to slow down, and most native speakers are happy to help.
Let's talk about phonetic training.
Learning the IPA International Phonetic Alphabet can help learners understand exactly how sounds are formed.
Is IPA necessary?
Not necessary, but helpful for advanced learners.
Let's talk about sound placement.
Some English sounds come from the back of the mouth, while others come from the front, and learners must feel where the sound originates.
How can they learn placement?
Through imitation, mirror practice, and physical sensation.
Let's talk about practicing daily.
Even 10 minutes a day is enough if practice is consistent and focused.
Should learners track progress?
Yes, tracking improvement increases motivation.
Let's talk about exaggeration again.
Exaggerating sounds during practice helps lock pronunciation into muscle memory.
Should they exaggerate stress too?
Absolutely, exaggerating stress builds natural rhythm.
Let's talk about reading scripts.
Reading scripts from movies helps learners copy natural dialogue.
Should learners memorize short dialogues?
Yes, memorizing real speech improves fluency.
Let's talk about echoing.
Echoing is repeating a phrase immediately after hearing it to train quick imitation.
Is echoing effective?
Very. It sharpens listening and speaking at the same time.
Let's talk about phonological awareness.
Being aware of sound patterns helps learners understand why certain sounds feel difficult.
Should learners relax their jaw?
Yes, tension reduces clarity.
Let's talk about lip rounding.
English uses rounded lips for sounds like O and U, so learners must train this movement.
What about smiling sounds?
Sounds like E require a slight smile, which helps produce correct pronunciation.
Let's talk about intonation variety.
Using rising and falling tones makes speech expressive and native-like.
Should learners practice with questions?
Yes, questions naturally teach rising intonation.
Let's talk about emotion.
Speaking with emotion makes pronunciation feel alive and authentic.
Should learners use gestures?
Yes, gestures help synchronize pronunciation and expression.
Let's talk about stress timing again.
Stress timing is essential for natural English rhythm.
Should learners clap the rhythm?
Yes, clapping helps feel stress patterns physically.
Let's talk about tone control.
Learners must practice adjusting tone depending on emotion and context.
What about whisper practice?
Whispering helps learners pay attention to mouth shape and airflow.
What about slow speaking drills?
Slow drills build accuracy, which later becomes fast fluency.
Let's talk about repetition.
Repetition is the mother of mastery. The more you repeat a sound, the easier it becomes.
Should learners repeat until perfect?
No, repeat until comfortable, not perfect.
Let's talk about realistic goals.
Learners should aim for clarity and naturalness, not perfection.
Should learners compare themselves to native speakers?
Only for imitation, not competition.
Let's talk about overcoming fear.
Fear stops learners from speaking clearly, so they must embrace mistakes.
Should learners practice speaking alone?
Yes, speaking alone builds confidence and fluency.
What about repeating single sentences?
Repeating one sentence many times builds fluency quickly.
Let's talk about rhythm drills.
Rhythm drills train musicality, which is essential for native-like pronunciation.
Should learners record different tones?
Yes, practice sad, happy, excited, and serious tones.
Let's talk about patience.
Pronunciation takes time, but improvements come faster with focused practice.
Should learners study pronunciation daily?
Yes, even short daily practice builds fast results.
What's one thing learners should avoid?
They should avoid speaking softly and mumbling because clear pronunciation requires confidence and volume.
And one thing they should do?
They should speak boldly, imitate native speakers, practice consistently, and trust the process because improvement always comes with time. Do.
Thank you for watching. Keep practicing. Stay brave and enjoy the journey of improving your pronunciation.
And tell us in the comments which English sound is hardest for you. We'll help you master it in the next lesson.